If you've been feeling off since 2020, I wanted to make a video, the reasons why, both scientifically and spiritually. Reason number one being the sun. Right now we are in something that is called the solar maximum, and it comes every 11 years, and we're halfway through it at this point in January 2025. So for the last few years, the sun has been extremely active. There are more sunspots than normal, which creates a lot of electromagnetic activity, as well as solar flares and coronal mass ejections. The frequency that comes off of the sun is electromagnetic, and because we are natural energy conductors as human beings, and we are bioelectrical beings, we have our own magnetic field. So the earth has a protective layer from these energies from the sun so that they're not so intense on our bodies. But when we're in a solar maximum, it's so intense anyways, we can't escape it. So the energies that do hit earth and come into our physical vessels, because we are conductors, it changes a lot within us, and it can make us feel many different ways. So it depends on the intensity of the solar flares that are coming off of the sun. There are 3 ones that I'm going to talk about today. The list is here and you can read it on your own. They affect us psychologically, physically, and spiritually as well. So the first one I'm going to speak about is the C-class solar flares, and these at this point you probably don't even notice when they happen. They're relatively weak. They don't make a huge impact on Earth or on our physical beings. Then there is the M-class solar flares, and we've been seeing a lot of these lately, and obviously because we're in the solar maximum, they're more frequent than they have been in previous years. So the M-class is moderate, and they cause the most radio blackouts as well as geomagnetic storms. And when you're seeing more M-class solar flares, the higher that they get, the more auroras that we're going to see. And if you've been paying attention, there is a lot of northern lights happening all around the world in places that people have never seen them before, and this is because of the solar maximum. And then there is the X-class solar flares, which are the most intense, and they are the most disruptive to Earth and the magnetic frequency here. On January 4th, 2025, we experienced 3 X-class solar flares in a 24-hour period, which is a lot. It's really, really intense energy. So there are a lot of symptoms that can happen to your body because we process that energy. It's directly affecting our human bodies. The most common symptoms that people are feeling is sleep disturbances. So you're either sleeping a lot or you're not sleeping at all. And headaches is really common, dizziness and vertigo, ear ringing, emotional dysregulation, like you're having mood swings, you're anxious, you're nervous, and this is all like out of the norm, or it's heightened from your norm. I know that hearing the term electromagnetic frequency, EMFs, might stress you out, but please rest assured that EMFs occurring from the sun as well as the earth are natural, and they are not harmful to the human body. They are very beneficial, which we're going to get into in the spiritual portion. But next I want to talk about the second reason why you might be feeling a little bit off since 2020, and that would be the earth. So just like the sun, the earth emits its own electromagnetic frequency, and this frequency is 7.83 hertz. And that frequency is what brings us better sleep, mental clarity, relaxation. Right now, the Schumann Resonance has been experiencing a high amount of frequency as well. That shows on a graph like this with high white spikes. That affects our physical bodies as well. So we are getting a lot of energy from above coming down into our physical bodies, through our bodies down into the earth, and from the earth into us as well. Because we are bioelectrical beings, it is so important to do grounding, because as our feet touch the earth and connect to Earth's electrical current, we balance our own electrical circuit within our body. And there is a fabulous documentary on YouTube about grounding and its benefits. I highly recommend that you watch it. And the resonance of Earth is measured by something called the Schumann Resonance. And in space, the frequency of the Earth is so important. They actually mimic and have a generator in space to emit the frequency of Earth, that 7.83 hertz, to help the astronauts feel better while they're out in space, because they don't have that there. They've gone beyond where the Earth's frequency can emit to. Just like the sun, when all of this energy from the Schumann is spiking white, like that graph that I showed you, it is really intense for our bodies. And the symptoms can be what I mentioned before, but they can really be anything. I experience so many different things, and this is going to lead me into the spiritual reason as to why you might be feeling bananas. The sun is a giant ball of light, and as it's shooting energy into Earth in frequency, it's high frequency. And where we're at in our human evolution is we need to evolve our consciousness, and this light is helping us do so, as well as the energy from the Earth. So those high white spikes are high energy, and what happens when light hits the human body is it's going to shake up a lot of density. And we all have density in our bodies. We all have these traumas and suppressed emotions and physical illnesses and disease and all of these things in our bodies that we've been holding on to that cannot come with us as we evolve. They need to stay behind because they are not high enough frequency to maintain their position in the Earth that we're moving into. When I start to feel the energy get really high, I get really exhausted because your body needs rest. It needs to recuperate. This is when your body does its deepest work, is when you're sleeping. And it's really important, as your body is upgrading and adjusting to the new energies and the intense energies that are pouring into our planet, that you rest and recover, and that your cells can do what they need to do. They can let the old cells die, they can scrub the new cells, make them all clean, and your body can recuperate. Exhaustion is really common. I am a holistic nutritionist. If you have any weird symptoms that you can't explain, doctors don't know what's going on with you, you're unsure, this popped up last time and you don't know why, put a comment down below, or you can send me a message on Instagram. I would love to help you out. I know this last one that came in on January 4th was really intense for me. I started getting a sore throat, and I know that that for me was that I have some throat chakra blockages. The energy is trying to expose, it's trying to like clear that chakra and clean it up. And I know that it's an upgrade because it's not working optimally right now. And me coming on camera, starting to use my voice and getting more comfortable with my expression is exactly why this is happening. So pay attention to those little things of what you're feeling. If you need to go see a doctor, like I said, go see a doctor, but please understand that you need to find the root of what is happening to you. If you're just going to go to a doctor, take some pills and suppress, you're not going to feel any better, and you're likely going to experience other symptoms because you're just pushing down what is trying to come up. All of this light is trying to bring the darkness up, and as within, so without. So we're going to start seeing a lot more stuff in our external world that was once in the dark and is now in the light. Like a lot of things happening in Hollywood, a lot of things happening in politics, things that our government hid from us before, but now they are not. And so pay attention to these things. Pay attention to your body. Your body is so intelligent, and it is really trying to lead you into your next phase of living, into this higher frequency and higher state of consciousness. And it's really important to understand what is happening and why it's happening, so that you don't freak out, so that you don't feel afraid. And starting to flow with the energies is really going to help you, because when you resist and you're scared and you're pushing away and you're trying to revert back into old familiar patterns and old ways of eating and behaving and whatever it may be, it hurts. It is so hard for your body because it's trying to push you forwards and you're moving backwards. And with the intensity of the energy that's coming in, it's not like that all the time, but we're getting more and more frequent bursts of high intensity energy because we need it. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to carry my traumas anymore. I don't want to hold on to all of the emotions that I pushed down because I didn't feel comfortable feeling, or I wasn't allowed to feel, or whatever it may be. I don't want to hold that. It's so heavy. And so that light frequency is hitting your body, and all of that darkness is getting exposed, and it's mega uncomfortable. So if you're in that position, don't worry. Everyone awakens at a different time. I started waking in the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, and it's been very intense. And I want you to remember that there are two sides to the healing coin. One is the darkness, where you realize your shadow and you look at things that you didn't want to look at, and you remember things that you didn't want to remember, and it hurts and it's painful and it's upsetting. There's going to be moments where you cry and cry and cry and don't want to eat, or you're eating a lot and you're gaining weight and you're losing weight, and it's really, really intense, but for a purpose. Everything is happening so beautifully for you, for your evolution, and leaning into that and trusting that, and trusting God that there is nothing you are going through that you cannot handle. And I love from the Bible, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So whatever is coming up is not going to be able to take hold of you. You are much stronger than anything you're experiencing. And then there's this second side of the healing coin, which is healing in the light. And this is something that I am not very good at. I've gotten so comfortable in healing in the dark that it doesn't bother me anymore if I need to cry it out, or if I need to journal a hate letter and burn it, or whatever kind of darkness is coming up. I am so much more comfortable and familiar with that than with the light. And healing in the light looks very different. It's about embracing joy and being able to hold love and being able to play and experience pleasure and really heal your inner child through enjoying being a human. And I think the dark side of healing, you can get sucked into it where it feels never ending, and it also feels like, what is the point? I don't want to be a human anymore. This game, this whatever I volunteered for or didn't volunteer for, whatever I got born into, I don't enjoy, and I don't want to do it anymore. And a lot of people, this is when they want to tap out. And I promise you, if you can flip that coin over, look at the other side, and see that there is always light, because we live in a dualistic world where there is light, there is dark. Focus on the light. Try and find little moments, those glimmers, those moments of times where you're seeing how beautiful this life really is, and focus and hone in on those. And I promise you, your journey is going to get a lot easier. So I hope some of this made sense for you. I am not an expert on these things. This is just what I've been learning on my journey. There are two tools that you can use to understand the energies that are coming in. Number one is the Space Weather app. It is free. There are some ads sometimes, but it is free. So it's going to show you the solar flares as well as the solar winds that are coming in, which is measured in KP index. And when those get really high, I generally get headaches. It's really intense as well. So that can kind of explain some things for you, as well as the Schumann Resonance, so you can see when the bright white streaks are coming in and you know the energy is really intense. So as you're following along with that, you can use that as a guide of like, okay, this is why I'm feeling like absolutely crazy today. I can't stop crying, I can't stop eating, I hate everybody. And that's gonna be like, okay, I can take a breath, I'm fine, it's just energy, it's just intense, and I'm gonna stop resisting it, and I'm just gonna let it move through me. And there's so many tools for you to help that energy move through you. Meditation, grounding, please ground yourself. It is so important to pull that energy through your body, out through your feet, and let the earth transmute it. You can focus on play, all that kind of stuff, and really focus on like the present moment and enjoying where you are. So if you're having a cup of coffee, savor it, be thankful that you have it, express gratitude. And if you're really struggling, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or anybody that you feel comfortable with and get some guidance. As I said, we don't all wake up at the same time, and that is by design. So while I am here and I've been here for a while, I'm gonna raise a little bit as this energy pours in, but there are people that are way up here that have been awakening for years. If I am here, you might be here, and I am somebody that you are learning from because you're not understanding what you're going through and you need a little bit of help. We can't do this by ourselves, so grab onto somebody who can help you, who is understanding more than you do, so that you can gain that knowledge and have the awareness, and that helps you level up, that helps you move through what you're going through with a lot more ease and grace. If you're experiencing a lot of symptoms, a lot of emotions, a lot of things are coming up for you that you don't want to look at, the only way out is through. You have to do it. Right now, I am seeing a lot more suppression. A lot more people are wanting to turn a blind eye to what they're going through because it's so uncomfy. It feels icky, and depending on the level of trauma that you have, and the trauma that you carry is not just your own, it is generational. If you look at the patterns in your family and look at yourself, you're going to see so many similarities. And this is what disease does, and doctors say it runs in the family, but no, it runs in the trauma and through your thoughts and behaviors. So look at all of those things and decide what you are not going to bring with you. 2025 is going to be a very intense year, but a lot of it is going to be focused about healing in the light. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. You can heal in the dark. There are those two sides of the coin, and both are equally as important. Make sure that you are doing the work and you're not just pushing it away, because it's going to spring back up in your face and it's going to be a lot more intense than if you just deal with what you need to deal with. So reach out to those who you feel comfortable, who you need help from. There's a lot of YouTubers now, a lot of people on TikTok who are making similar content because we need it. What I say may not resonate with you and you don't hear the message that I'm trying to deliver, but there are many people out there who are saying similar things but who it might just click with. So shop around and really elevate yourself. It is the time to do so. 2025 is going to be really good if we let it. Thank you for watching. I really hope this helped you, and if it did, please share with somebody else who could use similar information.